I bet some of you were looking for me. I know it. For those of you that are watching this on replay, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But for those of you that are watching live, I know that you do. But hey, check it out. I opened up my planner, and this morning, the quote in the planner says this. It says, I strive to be perfect. One day I might be good. God, first and foremost, brotherhood. And man, on a morning like this, what a quote to be read, right? I strive to be perfect. It's true. I think we all do. And one day I might be good. Maybe. Maybe. If I do this enough times, one day I might be good. But ultimately, God first and foremost, brotherhood. The people, your friends, your family, those that you can count on in times like this when you're running a few minutes behind, and they make sure the room gets popped open on Clubhouse, and they make sure everything gets put together so that you can have an amazing episode of #Rise and Grind. So let's dive in. Excited to bring Bob Burg to you here on #Rise and Grind. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? See, there's no excuse for you not pushing yourself to the next level. In order for you to create a new you must have a new mindset. When teams come together, we can create things that are greater than the sum of all of their parts. Good morning and welcome to #Rise and Grind. I am your host, Glenn Lundy. I am a husband to 1, a father to 8, and the creator of what is going to be the #1 most watched morning show in the world. It is 5:30 a.m. and I hope that you are ready to rise and grind. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Dude, today is Friday. That's right. Today is Friday, April 2nd, 2021. And what's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it'll ever be. That's right. Don't just glaze over that. The very first and the very last time it will ever be. Friday, April 2nd, 2021. So I want to make sure we make the absolute most, and I do mean the absolute most, of this absolutely incredible day. I'm coming to you live from Lafayette, Louisiana. That's right, Lafayette, Louisiana. Man, I got here 2 nights ago, and I spent some time with my friend John Paul Guidry. He's on the other side of the camera right now, so I got a live audience today for Rise and Grind. But I spent some time with my friend John Paul Guidry. Man, he's got this amazing dealership here in the Louisiana area. It's called Motor City, and my goodness, Motor City, LA. It is such a unique dealership experience and feel, unlike really anything I've stepped into. He's got a great team, great crew, great energy, great momentum, and this thing called potential, right? He has so much potential with what he can build and create with this thing, and I know the impact that he's going to be able to make in this community and in other people's lives when we get this thing really rocking and rolling. So it's been truly energizing. Getting to know John Paul more, getting to understand the city more, getting to there he is. There's John Paul right there, right? It's been awesome getting to know him better, getting to know the city better, and looking at this thing called potential. And all I could think about is, man, this week we've been talking about this series of what to do in the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter, and the fourth quarter to ensure you are winning when it comes to the end, to becoming your own personal dynasty that is known as that dynasty that gets it done every single time. Not the 2 steps forward, 3 steps back kind of person. Not the kind of person that starts but never finishes. Not the kind of person that gets to the goal line a yard short and never quite gets the ball across, but the type of person that consistently wins day in and day out, over and over and over. And you know those people, right? You know those people, and you're like, golly, that's frustrating. Well, I'm better than that. They don't deserve to be doing that, right? We be having that talk. But it's a system and it's a formula that successful people follow. And so we took this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, broke down step by step what to do in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. If you missed any of those episodes of Rise and Grind, I highly suggest go to my YouTube page, Glenn Lundy on YouTube. They're all there. I would watch this last week's series if that's you. I really would. I'm most likely going to take the series down next week. I've never deleted any episodes of #Rise and Grind, but these were so good, so informative, so powerful. I honestly believe the right business decision would be to teach these. To not just give them out for free. So I'm just letting you know, if you didn't catch them before, take this weekend, go watch those 4 episodes. It's been powerful. And then today we're going to wrap this all up because my friend Bob Burg is going to come in here, author of the GoGiver, and he's going to give us that extra little, like the little, what do you like the activator. Right? He's going to give us the activator to all the things we talked about all week. Because if you don't understand what Bob's about to bring to us as you're doing all those other steps to create your dynasty, none of it's going to work anyway. So now you're getting the activator. I'm going to bring Bob in here in just a second. Before I do, you know what we got to do on this show every single day. It's incredibly important. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. An object at rest tends to stay at rest. So we got to get this body moving. We got to do some dancing. We got to get the body flowing. That's right. There it is. Okay. All right. Now I'm falling into the zone, right? Now I'm falling into the zone. We got to get the heart pumping. We got to get the blood pumping. Yeah, the heart pumping and the blood moving. That's what we need to do. What about you, Bob? Are you a dancer, Bob? You do any dancing?
I'm not very good at it, but I don't let that keep me from doing it.
He said, I'm not very good at it. He's going to pass for now. But for those of you that do, hey, let's go. Let's get in motion. This is the part of the show. This is also the part of the show where I say good morning to you and you say good morning to me. Whether you're watching live or you're watching on replay, no matter what, say what's up and I'll say what's up back. How you doing, Julie Lentini? I see Ray Hatcher's in the house. Mrs. Kim Fair, Liza Myers-Borges. What's up, Kelly Taylor? How are you? I also see over on Clubhouse, we've got Nathaniel and Mario. I see Nate's in the house. Jeff the Entrepreneur. What's up, Scott? How you doing? Liza, Vanessa, Elaine, Jay Lissa, Joy, Samantha, Mr. Cirillo is up in the house this morning. Sarah Holland, always great to see you. What's up, Alpha? How you doing, William? My goodness, packed house today over on Clubhouse. I love it. What's up, Gary? How you doing, Silk, Valerie, Anita, Vernell, Veronica, Annette, Clarissa, Malcolm, Mello's up in the house. What's up, Debbie, Patricia, LaFern, Lauren, Kyle? Man, golly. How you doing, Ray Hatcher? Who else is up in here? My comments are frozen. My comments are frozen on Facebook. My comments are frozen on Facebook. There you go. Deborah Barees, great to see you. What's up, Erica Mason? How are you? I got Marilyn Wilkin. That's so weird. Yeah, my comments keep locking up on Facebook, so I have to go out and go back in to get new comments. I see Vicky Everett, Terry LaPierre, I see Sharice Houston. When I go out, pop back in, I see Mark Ellis, I see Deborah Champagne, I see Janelle Griego, which is great. I see Nathaniel Banks. Mr. Banks, what's up, man? I got to meet Nathaniel Banks I got to spend time with Nathaniel Banks in person last night here at John Paul Guidry's house. Dude, you want to talk about a great host? My goodness, I'm over here at John Paul Guidry. He's got like a professional chef that comes, grills up the steaks. Oh, look, he's shaking his head right now. Don't tell him that, Glenn. Don't tell him that, Glenn. Yes, John Paul brought a professional chef out, threw some Wagyu, right? Some really, really good steaks on the grill. He's fancy. Look, don't let him fool you, man. John Paul don't want anybody to know. He's fancy. No. No, he did. He really took care of us. It was awesome. All right, cool. Let's dive in. This week's series, we've been talking about this dynasty, right? How do we create our own personal dynasty? And so I want to get Bob in here as fast as humanly possible. Now that you guys are warmed up, primed up, ready to rock and roll. Oh, and I'm on a Mac to top it off, folks, so bear with me here. I'm not a Mac guy. But now that you guys are ready to rock and roll, let's bring this incredible human to the table. Bob, how are you, sir?
I'm great, Glenn. Just trying to coordinate and put on the Clubhouse, take myself off mute while I'm doing these. So I'm having to do a few different things at once. So this is good because it's getting me ready.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Few different things all at once, but it's easy. I see you've mission accomplished. You've unmuted on Clubhouse so they can hear you there. I can hear you on Facebook, so all of that is great. So you have accomplished all of the things I've been challenging you with, which I really, really appreciate. So Bob, let's talk about that, a little bit. You, speaking of mission accomplished and accomplishing things, you've accomplished some things that are pretty high level, some things that most people have never reached. Obviously, a best-selling co-author of the GoGiver series, which overall GoGiver, not that it's just about the numbers or anything like that, but how many of these books we're talking about? You guys have sold quite a few of these GoGiver books, right?
Yeah, the first one is sold just about 1 million. We say 975,000. It's about 990,000 at this point. We just haven't changed it until we hit the 1 million mark. But the series itself has gone way over 1 million. So that's been a lot of fun.
Wow, way over 1 million books sold. That's what I'm talking about. That's unlocking. That's the cheat code. So talk to us about this GoGiver series. What is the premise? What was the thought process? Where did it come from? And give us a little insight on this incredible book.
Well, it's a series of 4. There are 3 parables in the series, so they're short stories. One is more of an application guide. So there's the GoGiver, which is the original one, the parable. There's GoGivers Sell More. That's more of an application guide for the GoGiver. And then there's the GoGiver Leader and the GoGiver Influencer, which is the final one that we've done. And really, there's a basic premise around it. And it was, by the way, co-authored with John David Mann, who is an absolutely wonderful writer. I'm much more of a how-to person. I'm step by step. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. John, so in other words, I'm kind of boring. John is a wonderful, magnificent writer. So it was a great collaboration. The basic premise of the GoGiver is simply this. It's that shifting your focus, and as you know, that's where it all begins, shifting your focus from getting to giving. Now, when we say giving in this context, Glenn, we simply mean constantly and consistently providing immense value to others. Understanding that doing so is not only a more pleasant, a more gratifying way of conducting business, it's the most financially profitable way as well, and not for some way out woo-woo magical mystical type of reasons. Not at all. It actually makes very logical, rational sense. When you're that person who can take your focus off of yourself and place it on helping other people, discovering what they need, what they want, what they desire, helping them solve their challenges, helping bring them closer to happiness. Well, people feel good about you. People want to get to know you. They like you. They trust you. They want to be in relationship with you. They want to buy from you if they need what you have, and they certainly want to tell others about you and be what we call your personal walking ambassador.
Yeah, most definitely. Bob, will you do me a favor? Most definitely, 100%, giving immense value. I love that. While I'm talking, they're saying they can hear me through your mic on Clubhouse. So will you just mute when you're not talking? Do you mind? On the Clubhouse side? Perfect. Thank you so much, Bob. Thank you. So yes, giving immense value, helping other people get what they want. And I love how you use that word, like immense value. Right? There's a reason that you chose. It's not giving a little bit of value. It's not giving perceived value. It's not giving what you think is value. It's ultimately landing on immense value. So what made you and John think that the world needed this particular book when you guys decided to write this in the beginning?
Well, Glenn, I think that people were really ready for this. We had the feeling people were because, generally speaking, as human beings, we are designed to want um, to want to be of value to the world around us, to make a difference, to, as we like to say, nudge the world forward, to feel as though we're something bigger than ourselves. And I think that entrepreneurs and salespeople generally do this through their product or service, right? And so often people have been brought up with this misperception about selling, that selling is about trying to convince someone to buy something they want or need, when we know that's not selling. That's called being a con artist, right? Selling is, again, by definition, simply discovering what the other person wants, needs, or desires and helping them to get it. Actually, it's interesting. The Old English root of the word sell was salan, which meant to give. So when you're selling, you're literally giving. Now, someone might say, wait a second, Burg. I get that. That's clever. But isn't that just semantics? When you're selling, you're giving. What are you really giving someone when you're selling? Well, let's say you have a prospective customer or client in front of you. You are in the selling process. What exactly are you giving them? I suggest you're giving them time, attention, counsel, education, empathy, and ultimately, again, immense value. So if you're in sales, you should be proud of what you're doing. And I think what the GoGiver did is it allowed people to say, yeah, I'm doing a really great thing by being in sales. I'm doing a terrific thing by being an entrepreneur. I'm bringing something to this world that other people wouldn't have without me being there, or I'm able to do it in a way that really serves them. I think that's the way people want to feel as they sell. And the Go-Giver basically said, yes, you can do that. You can focus on others and make an excellent income. Glenn, one of the what I think is the interesting things, and I used to say this when I spoke at sales conferences in person. Now I only do them virtually, and even after COVID, I'm only doing them virtually. I'm 63, so I don't want to travel anymore, so I'm doing them virtually. But here's what I used to say.
All right.
I'd be in front of a room full of salespeople, and the first thing I'd say is, nobody's going to buy from you because you have a quota to meet. They're not going to buy from you because you need the money, and they're not even going to buy from you because you're a really nice human being. They're going to buy from you because they believe that they will be better off by doing so than by not doing so. And in the basically free market economy in which we live, when I say free market, I simply mean no one is forced to do business with anyone else. They do so on their own volition. That's the only reason why anyone should buy from you, because they believe they'll be better off. Now, here's the great news for any entrepreneur or salesperson who wants to do it this way, that when you can focus on them and absolutely put your energy on them, and they understand that your goal is to help them, to bring value to them, you have created the benevolent context for success where this person is much more likely to want to do business with you, which is why we say that money is simply an echo of value. Money is an echo of value. It's the thunder, if you will, to value's lightning, which means nothing more than that the value to the other person must be your focus. The value comes first. The money you receive is simply a natural result of the immense value you've provided.
So good, Bob. So good. I love that. Money is an echo of value. Y'all sit on that for just a second. Bob's over here putting it down. Focusing on others, you become better off by doing so. Did you guys catch him? Did you hear him say that? He said, when you focus on others, you become better off by doing so. He also said, helping people get what they want ultimately is how you win. We've been talking this week. How do we win? How do we get across the finish line? We've broken down all these different components. Quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. Building the right team, right? Making sure there's no quit in us. When we're putting points on the board in the second quarter, we're playing crazy defense in the fourth quarter to make sure nobody gets in the way of what we're trying to do, right? But ultimately, we got to take that whole formula and we got to wrap it with this bow of exactly what Bob's talking about right now. Helping them get what they want, their wants, their needs, and their desires. And I love, Bob, how you talked about in sales, we are giving. We're giving empathy. We're giving time. We're helping people feel seen, feel heard, feel significant, right? Which is what people really want, right? They want to feel seen, they want to feel heard, and they want to feel significant. And the more that we can make that happen, the easier it is to, and I don't even like the word influence, but it really is influence, the easier it is to influence someone to make a decision that ultimately, if you are a person of integrity, benefits them and also benefits you, right? That's the key, Bob. How'd you discover this? Like you yourself as an individual, tell us a little bit about your background and how you got to where you are today.
Well, I mean, I think that, in terms of really how I discovered it was just I was very blessed to be raised by two parents who embody this very thing, right? So I got to learn by example, which was very helpful to me. As I grew up and got into the business world, of course, I saw people doing things in certain ways that sometimes they were good examples and sometimes they weren't good examples. And I saw people who succeeded certain ways and failed certain ways and did this and that. And here's what I noticed, that the people who were more likely to be both immediately successful and sustainably successful always seemed to follow these principles. They were always about, as one of the mentors, Sam in the GoGiver advised Joe, about making their win all about the other person's win. Glenn, when I was about 2 years into being in sales, and I went to work for another company selling a high ticket item, and I started out in a slump. Not a good way to start out, and I was really having a difficult time getting out of it. And, I was probably 25, 26 at the time. And I was putting pressure on myself and I became self-focused, right? It was all about how am I going to get out of this slump? How am I going to have this, right? Which is the opposite of. So I come back to the office one day after a missed sales appointment. I'm not a missed sales appointment, but a non-selling appointment. It wasn't supposed to be a non-selling appointment. It was supposed to be a selling appointment, but
right.
Caused it to be. So what happens? This person who should have owned the product, it would have been a great fit for him. He didn't buy, so he didn't get the benefits of the product. I certainly didn't get the benefits of the commission, and the company I was working for didn't get the benefit as well. So it was a lose instead of a win-win-win. And I came back to the office disgusted with myself, and I'm in the sales room, and there's an older guy there who he wasn't even in the sales department. I think he was an engineer, and he retired soon after. He was one of these people, we've all known people like this. He didn't say much, but whenever he did say something, it was always profound.
Oh, yeah. There's a guy in Clubhouse named Alpha 6. He is exactly that. He doesn't say much, but when he does, you like draw drops. It's very profound thought. Yes,
absolutely. And he said to me, and I think he saw me as sort of like Joe, the protege in the GoGiver that John David Mann and I would write about 25 years later. After that, he saw me as that kind of young, aggressive, ambitious, up and coming sales guy who was really working hard in it, but was very frustrated, not getting the kind of results that he wanted. And he said to me, he said, Burg, he was a last name kind of guy. He said, Burg, can I give you some advice? And I said, yes, absolutely. Please do. I need it. And he said, I'll never forget this. He said, Burg, if you want to make a lot of money in sales, he said, don't have making money as your target. Your target is serving others. Right. Now, when you hit the target, he said, you'll get a reward. And that reward will come in the form of money. And you can do
Mm-hmm.
with that money whatever you choose. But never forget, the money is simply the reward for hitting the target. It ain't the target itself. Your target is serving others. And
Right.
that's when it hit me, Glenn. That's when it really hit me. That great salesmanship is never about the salesperson. Great salesmanship is never about the product or service, as important as those are. Great salesmanship is about the other person. It's
Mm.
about those lives you want to bring value to. It's about those people whose lives are better off just by you being part of it. And I
Mm.
think that when we approach sales from that premise, from that foundation, now we're really 9 steps ahead of the game in a 10-step game.
Bob, I love it. You know how you were just talking about people speak and it's like profound and you just got to chew on it for a minute? That's what you just did for us this morning.
Well,
That's what
thank
you
you.
just
This
did
is what
for
I've
us.
learned from others.
That's what you've learned from others, right? That was one of the things I wrote down as you started answering the question is, the success leaves clues part, right? Like, you mentioned, luckily you were able to be raised with some people that understood this premise of serving others and this premise of giving. And so success always leaves clues. And when we make it about other people's wins, like, we can't stress this enough. When you make it about other people's wins, that's the cheat code. That's how you unlock. Now, Bob, you're talking about sales, and I know that there are some people in the world. Of course, no one in this room, because this is the Rise and Grind room. So nobody in the Rise and Grind room, nobody in Breakfast with Champions. But I know that there are some people in the world that they cringe every time they hear the word sales. And they say, well, I'm not in sales. I would never do sales. Sales is not my thing. That's a bunch of sleazy, slimy sons of guns, right? But from what I'm hearing, you're not just talking about selling a product, right? We're not just talking about business. We're really talking about embodying a characteristic, a trait, right, of going out and serving others, which ultimately is sales, right? Would you agree we're all in sales in some way, shape, or form?
Yeah, and I think when people say that about, "Oh, sales is horrible. I could never sell. I wouldn't want to be," the people who have an issue with sales or with selling, I don't think it's really that they have an issue with selling. They have an issue with what they think selling is. Right? Because when you hear these stories about the horrible salesperson, the pushy salesperson, and the this salesman and the that, and remember, those are the ones you hear about. How often do you hear about the great salesperson who just absolutely has your interest at heart and who brings you such joy and such value? Because human nature is such that we don't hear the great stories like that. That's what it's
Right.
supposed to be, right? So we hear the horror stories. So yes, that's why I think a big aspect of sales, and what all of us as professional salespeople really need to do is educate the public and educate others about what selling really is. And that's
Mm-hmm.
why people such as the great Zig Ziglar, who I thought always did such a wonderful, wonderful job of selling the idea of selling, right? It was always so magnificent. So many other people, of course.
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
yeah.
Bob, question for you. In order to sell 1 million books, one thing that I know and that I've experienced in my lifetime up till this point, maybe I'm wrong, but one thing that I've experienced is in this existence here on this universe, we typically don't get in life things that we don't believe are possible. Like, at some point, for you to sell 1 million, I feel, in my experience, and you can tell me I was wrong, that you guys believed it was a book that could sell 1 million, right? Like, you almost have to you have to believe it before it'll ever come to reality. And so, did you, going in, did you know you were going to sell this many copies and make this big of an impact? And if not, what steps did you take to open your mind to this idea of this being such a cultural impact maker?
That's such a great question. And by the way, I think I'm starting to get the hang of of taking myself off mute when I'm speaking for Clubhouse. So if people are watching this, by the way, on Facebook, and they're looking why I'm looking down into the side, I'm not multitasking. I'm just trying to keep up with this, but I think I've got it. No, I think that
Thanks,
question,
Bob.
huh?
I said,
Yeah.
thanks, Bob.
I think that's a wonderful question, Glenn. Yeah, John and I believed right from the beginning that there was a market for this book, that we really saw this as something that could go big. But when you say, can you accomplish it if you don't really believe you can? Well, no, I don't think you can. But I think sometimes belief grows as you're going along. So it may have started out as, yeah, this has a market, or I think we can do this or that. But you start to see the momentum, and your belief starts to build. But I think really, Dr. Maxwell Maltz in his 1960s classic Psycho-Cybernetics, I think he was really the first one who kind of came along and said that and I'm paraphrasing, but that your belief system, okay, how you see the world, how you see the truth about life and about how things work, that really determines what you can accomplish, because we know we can never accomplish anything more than our beliefs, right? Otherwise, because our beliefs kind of guide our actions.
Right. Yeah. And I think that that's hugely valuable. I know when I was a little bit younger, I was part of the problem. I was in my own way when it came to reaching certain things because of the belief system that I had. I had this belief system that I was, it was a very victim-minded belief system, and I wasn't worthy and I wasn't capable of some of the things. And until I was able to unlock that in my mind, I just continued to run into the same walls over and over and over and over. So just wanted to touch on that because it's not every day that you get to spend the morning with a guy who sold 1 million books. I'm just saying. It's not every day that happens, folks. And so it's pretty impressive. Amazing work. Bob, we're going to do two things. The time really flies here on hashtag Rise and Grind. And we are advocates of morning routines and people staying on their morning routine. So I always like to be very respectful of those that are listening in, and it's part of their, part of their schedule, part of their jam, so on and so forth. And so what I want to do real quick is let me say to those of you that are watching, right now, hope you're enjoying this. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and share this out. One of the best ways that we can honor our guests, Bob, that got up super early in the morning and is working with Wirecast technology and is also making sure to go in and out on Clubhouse, and he's doing all of these things for us, folks. One of the best things that we can do to honor him is blow him up today. Blow him up today. If Bob said anything that resonated with you, anything that you found valuable, anything that you think you can take and utilize today in your life, today, this week, this month, this year, hit him up, blow him up. I want him to call me later and say, Glenn, tell these people to leave me alone. I can't get anything done, right? Follow him on Clubhouse. Hit him up on Instagram. Do the Facebook thing. All of those places. And Bob, in for real, I'm joking, but I'm not, because I know how the Rising Grinders are. They're going to blow you up today. What is the best way to connect with you? Or is it one of those things that I mentioned?
Well, all those are great, and I really appreciate that. Probably the best way, Glenn, is just at my website, which is Burg, BURG.com, and people can read a chapter of any of the books first to see if they like where they're headed. And when they scroll down the Burg.com page, they'll see our GoGiver Success Alliance mentorship community. So there's all sorts of great resources there if people would like to come and check it out.
Beautiful. I love that. And so I'm going to ask you two more questions. Now, if you guys want to head over to Burg.com, he's got those resources. Make sure you connect with him there. Super valuable, super important. All right, Bob. So if I go and I get the books, the GoGiver series, will you give me, we've already talked about service, serving others, all of those. You said you like to teach in kind of parable style. So can you give us one parable from the series, maybe your favorite story that's in the series, to just really wet our lips and get us a taste of the GoGiver series before we order it today?
Oh goodness, I would say that it's when Joe was the mentor, the protege rather, was speaking to Pindar and one of the other mentors, um, Ernesto, who owned a restaurant. And Joe kept making, this is early in the story, and Joe kept making references to how something would, in terms of the money it would make and so forth. And Pindar at one point said, and I'm trying to, I won't even bother with I'll just summarize, that he was sort of saying, put first things first, Joe, first, about value and about serving others. And Joe says, so wait a minute, are you saying that asking if something will make money is a bad question? And Pindar said, absolutely not. Asking if something will make money is a great question. It's just a bad first question, because first ask, will it serve? If the answer is yes, then ask, will it make money? So it's just a matter of having your focus on the right place. Is this going to serve? Is there a market for it? Is this something that's going to be of value to people? Do people see it as something will be value? Remember, value is always in the eyes of the beholder. So again, asking if something will make money, well, no one's buying it because you want to make money. They're buying it because they feel it will serve them. So first ask, will it serve? Now, if it serves, you've still got to then ask, will it make money? Otherwise, it's just a hobby. Hobbies are great, but that's not what we're talking about here. So first ask, will it serve? If the answer is yes, then ask, okay, will it make money?
Yes, I love it. Great takeaway. Will it serve? I do this, Bob, with some of the dealerships that I work at. Like, I try to get them to just flip it on the head, right? People first. Let's get our people first, customers second, profits third. And if you can put things in that order, you can really explode, develop an incredible culture, and make a massive impact. All right, last question for the Facebook side. And then if you don't mind, we're going to hang out in Clubhouse for a little while and let people shoot questions at you over in Clubhouse, because I know they're chomping at the bit over there to get to you. But over here on Facebook, we're going to shut this down here in just a second. So here's the last question for you on Facebook, Bob. I am going to put you on top of a mountain. All right? You are on top of a mountain, and all of civilization is at the base of the mountain. And they're down there, and they're cheering for you loudly, right? They're going, Bob Burg, Bob Burg, Bob Burg, Bob Burg, Bob Burg. You got the crazy guy that's like, it's Bob, right? Like, they're out there, and they're cheering for you. And somebody walks over, and they hand you this microphone, and they say, Bob, you've got 2 minutes. 2 minutes to drop something on them. Practical application wisdom that they can apply in their life today, this week, this month, this year. What are you going to tell them?
So the first thing I'd say is it comes down to one basic general principle, and that is make people feel genuinely good about themselves. Because when you can do that, now you're really coming at life and coming at business in such a productive way. I believe the single biggest people skill is a highly developed and authentic interest in the other person. And, I think I'd say to somebody, if you're in an initial conversation with someone, just remember, let them talk. Let them talk about themselves. It's always occurred to me whenever I was prospecting via telephone that nobody ever hung up the phone on me while they were talking. And when we can ask people questions about themselves that focus on them, that bring value to them, and when we first meet someone, it's asking people, how did you get started in your business? Which people are so seldom asked, and they love to talk about. What do you enjoy most about what you do? Because again, it's such a feel-good question. But here's what I call, Glenn, the one key question. It's what I talked about in my first book, Endless Referrals, which is what led to, eventually the GoGiver. And that's asking a person this question: how can I know if someone I'm speaking with would be a good client or a good customer for you? How can I know if Dave, or Mary, I love connecting good people with other good people. Tell me, how can I know if someone I'm speaking with is a good potential customer for you?
That is a profound question. And what I love about what you just said, Bob, is you said make sure other people feel good about themselves.
Yeah.
You didn't say just make sure people feel good.
Right.
We can do that, right?
Yeah.
You said make sure people feel good about themselves. An authentic interest in others. Beautiful. Bob, this has been amazing. Bro, you are an incredible human being. Clearly, uniquely made. The God of the universe made you to be the absolute best version of yourself that you can possibly be. And you're living it out, man. You're stepping into it every single day, serving us this morning, serving millions around the world every single day. And I, for one, absolutely stinking love you for it, Bob. I do. Thank you so much. I absolutely stinking love you, brother.
Glenn, I love you too. And I just want to say it is an absolute honor to be interviewed by one of my heroes. And I get a ton. I heard about you first from one of my other real live action heroes, Lisa Copeland, who's a huge fan of yours. And the value you bring to the lives of so many of us is just absolutely, to use the word we were talking about earlier, immense. So thank you for being who you are. And as a result, thank you for doing what you do.
Wow, Bob, I wasn't expecting that. I was about to close out the show, and you caught me off guard. I had no idea, and what a morning for me to hear that. Thank you, Bob. Thank you. I'm going to say goodbye to the rest of them, and then I'll meet you over on Clubhouse, okay?
Got it. See you soon.
Awesome. That was Bob Burg, co-author of The GoGiver. Make sure you connect with him. Go to Burg.com. That's right. Go to Burg.com. Connect with him. Amazing superhuman, doing big things in the world, serving others. I hope I've got tons and tons of notes over here. I've actually been writing notes in, I think this is John Paul's planner, not mine. I've been writing notes in his planner here this morning. I hope that you found that valuable as well. If you did, go ahead and hit that share button. Connect with Bob. He's making an impact. I hope he made an impact on you. Also, do me a huge favor. Take everything that you learned this week and put it into practice, right? Let's execute. All right, let's get you out. Let's break you out of that mold. Let's break you out of that area. Let's break you out of that frustration point and move you to that next level where you become the type of human that consistently is winning. I want you to create your legacy. It matters. It matters. You matter. All right. So listen, if you need more videos like this, you can go to GlennLundy.com. If you want to hang out and talk with Bob a little bit longer, we're going to be hanging out over on Clubhouse. So you're welcome to go meet me over there if you have that opportunity. Come join me on Clubhouse. I'll see you over there. Most importantly, though, have an incredible weekend. One of those over-the-top, spectacular, memorable, like impactful weekends. And then come back here again at 5:30 a.m. on Monday. And we're going to do this thing all over again on #Rise and Grind. Have a great day, friends. Good morning. How are you, my friend? See, there's no excuse for you not pushing yourself to the next level. In order for you to create a new you must have a new mindset. When teams come together, we can create things that are greater than the sum of all of their parts.